This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so before I proceed any further, I'll set the expectations, Prasad, as to what I will be covering as a part of the course. Okay,
Okay. Sure.
and then we'll get into the subject. Okay, so
Yeah.
before that, Prasad, can I quickly know about yourself as to what you are, and then what is the expectations from the class?
Actually, right now I'm tester, actually quality assurance
Okay,
tester. So actually I have to do something like performance testing or further, gain the knowledge. So, and also in current project we are planning to use performance, and some other team they are using performance testing. Other
wonderful,
team.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a requirement in the project, and you wanted to learn to meet the requirements, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Then this course, is so, what do you say, so organized or so designed that, it will perfectly suit your requirement. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So first, I'll start with the architecture basics, Prasad. Well, if you're wondering, like as a performance tester, like why we need to learn about architecture, as a manual tester, very rarely we get into the architecture part and understanding the architecture and all that. But as a performance tester, it is extremely important to understand architecture because this
Okay.
is where the bottlenecks are. Okay, so
Mhm.
now there is a word that I've introduced, which is bottleneck. Okay, so
Okay.
now that you are a manual tester, okay,
Yeah.
any deviation from the requirement, what do you call that? Any deviation from the requirement, what would you call that?
Um.
As a manual tester, if they have given a requirement that with a username and password it should log in, so you have taken a valid username and valid password and clicked on login, it's not logging in. So what do you call that?
There is a negative smell. Defect. Yeah.
Defect or a bug.
Bug. Yeah.
Okay, so like they have given a requirement, like with a valid username and valid password you should be able to log into the application. So you have
Mm-hmm.
taken a valid username, you have taken a valid password and trying to log in, and the application is not allowing you to log in. So the functionality of the application is deviating from the requirement. So this deviation, we call this as a defect or a bug, which is very popular term when it comes to manual test. Okay,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
in performance testing or as a performance tester, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the deviation from the requirement, same thing. Okay, the deviation
Okay.
from requirement, we call this as a, we don't call it as a defect or a bug over here, we call this as a bottleneck.
Okay.
Okay, if you are a security tester, okay, any idea what is this called, deviation from the requirement?
Uh.
We call this as vulnerability. Okay, so depending
Okay.
on the testing, this deviation of the requirement, we call it with a particular term. If it's a manual tester, I'm sure you're aware of this term called
Yeah.
defect.
Defect bug. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a performance tester, you call it as a bottleneck. Okay, you
But.
don't call it as a defect. If you're a security tester, again, you don't call it as a defect, you call this as a vulnerability. So
Um.
the whole purpose of performance testing or the whole purpose of manual testing is to make sure the quality of the application is good or it is defect free. Can I say that?
Yeah.
The
Defect.
whole
Yeah.
yeah, the whole purpose of doing software testing or manual testing is to make sure that the application is defect free. Similarly, the whole purpose of doing this performance testing is to make sure the application is
Bottleneck.
not having any bottlenecks.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, I'm telling you, okay, the client has given you this requirement. What is this requirement? The application should be fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, application should be fast. Okay, what is the client has given you? The requirement, he gave the requirement that the application should be fast.
Fast.
Okay, when I said fast, let me open some application. Maybe I'll open an Amazon application. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you see immediately the application, as soon as I entered amazon.in, immediately the application has shown up. Now what am I doing? I'm clicking on the top offers. Okay, as soon as I click on it, all the laptops is showing up. You see, don't you
Mm-hmm.
think the application is fast?
Yeah, application is fast.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as you click on it, immediately the information related to that particular laptop has shown up. As soon as I click on add to cart, it is immediately showing you the next page. And as soon as you click on add to cart, immediately it said, it has been added to the cart. You see how fast the application is? You got the point? So
Yeah,
this
I
is
got the
what
point.
I'm saying, the application is fast. Okay, this
Mm-hmm.
is what I meant when I said the application is fast. So when you ask something, okay, I want to, as soon as you click on something, immediately you're getting this response. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is what I call it as fast. Okay, as soon as I click on home page, it's immediately going to the home page. So the application here is pretty fast. Okay,
Oh,
so this is what I said, the application is fast. Okay, so
okay.
now this is the requirement. Okay, the application should be fast is the requirement. You have tested the application. You have tested the application, and you have given your diagnosis, or you have given your comments from your side saying that application is slow. What did you give? Application is slow. So requirement is application should be fast, but after testing it, what did you figure out? That the application
Application
is slow. Okay, so
fail. Yeah,
is there a deviation of requirement?
bottleneck.
Yeah, so you can say that there is a bottleneck in the application. Okay, you don't say
Yeah,
that application is having a defect, you have to say that application is having a bottleneck.
bottleneck.
Are we clear so far, Prasad?
Yeah, yeah, I'm clear. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about it before I go to the course content, because I don't want to leave it over here. Okay,
Okay.
now
Okay.
I say what is fast for you could be slow for me, and what is slow for me could be very very slow for somebody else. Can I say that, Prasad?
So might be the performance slow because of
No,
some.
no, I'm not talking about performance or anything. They gave a requirement that application should be fast.
Yeah.
Okay, just the requirement. Now you are a performance tester. Okay, there are three performance testers in the team. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the three of you have tested the application. Okay, all the
Yeah.
three. Okay, there is performance tester one, which is Prasad. Okay, there is performance tester two. Okay, which is, let's say, Kumar, and there is
Mm-hmm.
performance tester three. Let's say it is Srinivas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are three performance testers. All the three of them have tested the application. The first guy said the application is fast. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
visually I felt the application is fast, but for him, by the way, the performance of the application is always same whether whoever has tested it. Can I say that? Whether performance tester one has tested it, or two have tested it, or three has tested it, the performance of the application will be same. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
Prasad felt that application is fast, Kumar said that application is slow, and Srinivas felt that application is very slow. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
actual application is same, the performance of the actual application is same, but Prasad felt it one way, Kumar felt it another way, Srinivas felt it another way. Okay,
Okay.
because it depends upon the person, it depends on the perception. What is fast for me could be slow for you. Okay, what is slow for
Yeah.
you could be very slow for somebody else. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
these requirements are vague requirements, you're leaving it to the performance tester as to it should be fast. But for somebody, it could be fast, somebody it could be slow, somebody it could be very slow.
Very slow.
Okay, for example, we are going from Hyderabad to Vijayawada. Okay, and there are three travelers in the bus. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so one felt that, oh, 3.5 hours. Okay, we reached from Hyderabad to Vijayawada in 3 point. There are three passengers, right? So one of
Mm-hmm.
them, and it took 3.5 hours from going from Hyderabad to Vijayawada. Okay, it took
Mm-hmm.
3.5 hours, and there are three passengers. So the first
Mm-hmm.
passenger felt, oh, very fast, 3.5 hours. Second passenger felt that, oh, not that fast. This is on an average. Okay, so it is medium. And the other guy felt that it is slow. It totally depends upon the perception. Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
Similarly, you said the application, is fast. That's a requirement. Application of performance of the application is same, but performance tester Prasad felt one way, Kumar felt another way, Srinivas felt another way completely.
Yes.
Okay, so it totally depends upon the perception. Okay, so now this requirement is a big requirement. Okay, the client has to clearly tell you how fast. Okay, so now the same requirement I'm telling you. Okay,
Mhm.
for application to respond. Okay, it should not take more than 2 seconds. Okay, for the application to respond, it should not take more than 2 seconds. Now the client is clearly telling you that, once you click on something, okay, once you click on something, okay, within 2 seconds you should get the response. Okay, as soon as I clicked on it, immediately you're getting the response, and it is less than 2 seconds. Once I
Yes.
click on it, within 2 seconds you get the response. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Once you click on it, within 2 seconds you are getting the response. Now all the three people will test for this. Prasad will test for, whether when I click on something, application is responding within 2 seconds or not. If it is not, he will say application is slow. If it is, then he will say application is fast. Kumar also does the same thing. Okay, he will click
Yes.
on certain things and he will look at the time, and if the application is responding within 2 seconds, he will say application is fast, else he will say he is slow. So usually the requirements will be given something like this. The requirements will never be given something like this. These kind of requirements, we call it as vague requirements, because they are not telling you how fast the application should be. But here they are clearly telling you how fast the application should be. Are we clear, Prasad?
Yeah, yeah, clear.
Okay, so to finding the bottlenecks, again I'm telling you, the whole purpose of doing performance testing is to make sure the application is fast. Okay, if the application is fast, everybody is happy. But if the application is slow, that's when is the problem. When will the
Fast.
application be slow? When there is a bottleneck. Okay, how can we identify the bottleneck? Only if you know the architecture basics.
Okay.
Okay, only if you know the architecture, you will be able to identify the bottleneck. So that is the reason why, as a performance tester, this is the first thing that you need to understand is the architecture of the application, and that's what I will tell you. Okay, we talk
Okay.
about servers, we talk about app server, web server, database server, we talk about different types of architecture like 2-tier, 3-tier, n-tier and all that. Okay, and we talk about static content and dynamic content. Okay, once that is set, then we will get into the performance testing. Okay,
Okay.
so here not only we talk about what is performance testing and all that, but we talk about what is the process. Okay, how the process will be. Okay, when you get into a project or when you are handling a project, everything should have a process. Okay, so
Mhm.
Prasad, let's say your friend is getting married. Okay,
Mhm.
so they don't decide today and they don't get married tomorrow, right? There is a process for it. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Okay, the
Yes.
process could be the groom's parents will go and meet the bride's parents, and the bride's
Mhm.
parents will come and meet the groom's parents. Once
Mhm.
everything has been decided, then they will decide upon a date for an engagement and the marriage. Okay, and then they will go and distribute the cards to all the relatives. Okay, then they make sure all the clothes, everything has been arranged, and finally on the main day, they go to the hall, and then there are rituals. So there is a process for this. Okay, every activity that you do in life, there is a process. Don't you think so, Prasad? Yeah,
Mhm.
you're
Yes.
preparing for an examination. There is a process, right? You say
Yes.
that, okay, I'll start preparing from 2 weeks from before. So on the first 2 days, I will work on I'll concentrate on social studies. The next 2 days, I'll say, okay, next 3 days, I need to prepare for science because this is hard. Okay, then the next one day is for maths because maths exam was already have 3 holidays. So prior preparation of one day is good enough for maths. So there is a process, there is a planning for that. So every activity in your life has a process and a planning. So when you are spending so much money, performance testing means you spend a lot of money. Always remember, performance testing means the company spends a lot of money. When you spend a lot of money, definitely there should be a process. Okay, small activities like going to the office, preparing for the examination, and all that is taking so much of planning. Then definitely when you spend lakhs of rupees, okay, definitely there should be a process. So we will talk about what is the exact process, industry standard process for performance testing and the life cycle as well. Okay, if you have heard about STLC, software testing life cycle, okay, then definitely there is something like PTLC, performance testing life cycle. Okay, what is it? Performance testing life cycle. So we will talk about performance testing life cycle as well. What are the different stages of performance testing and which people are involved? When I said which people, in which activities performance test manager is involved, which activities performance test lead is involved, and in which activity your performance tester is involved, we'll clearly talk about that. Okay, then we'll get into different types of performance testing like load, stress, volume, endurance testing. Okay, then we will get into the requirements, what kind of requirements we'll gather, and finally this is when we'll start the load runner. Okay, so it's not just a load runner class. This is the reason why I say this course is performance testing using load runner. Okay, because here you're not only learning load runner, but you're learning about performance testing as well, as to what is the process, what kind of requirements you gather, what is workload modeling, and all that. Okay, then we finally get into the load runner. Okay, in load runner there are three components: ViewGen, okay, and then controller and analysis or analyzer. All the three components will be thoroughly discussed. Okay, and by the way, in this class, it's not just about recording, playing back, and adding transactions, okay, and parameterization. So it is not just about these concepts, okay. Recording, playback, adding the transactions, parameterization, you can learn anywhere. In fact, you will be able to learn it from even a normal performance tester as well. But why would you come to me with 14 plus years of experience? Okay, because I not only teach these basic things, but I'll teach you how to create programs. Okay, so whenever there are programs that needs to be written using load runner or ViewGen, I'll teach you that as well. Okay, and whenever you're facing issues, which you're most likely when you get into the project, what should be the approach? How should be your approach to resolve those issues? Okay, if you're recorded and everything is playing back, there is no issues. Okay, but most likely than not, that's not what will happen. Okay, once you record and playback, definitely the script will fail, there will be some issues and all that. Then you need to debug those issues and clear those issues. So this course will tell you how to clear those issues, or you will learn that. I will not tell you because I don't know which kind of issues you will face, but I will give you all the knowledge that is required so that you can go and take care of that issue. Okay, that kind of knowledge or that kind of power this course will give you. Okay, so I'll tell you, this is not just a basic course, it's an advanced course as well, because you will be able to create the programs, you will be able to debug the issues. Okay, and you will get into and you will learn a lot of LR functions like LR save string. Okay, LR save string, LR save sprintf, okay, LR save date time, okay, LR eval string, okay, where you need to use it, how we need to use it, and all that. Just blindly not, telling you what it is, okay. So, but I'll tell you like this: there are n number of functions that you will learn in the class, okay. And not only that, if there is a new challenge comes, how to figure out which LR function I require, how to use them, how to put that into your program, you'll be able to clearly understand. Every day, if you practice what is being taught in the class, you will be start creating the programs. Okay, this information, whatever I'm about to tell you, it might not be required, but this is what the questions usually ask to me. Okay, I've been doing trainings from the last 5 years. So this is the basic question a lot of people will ask me. Okay, how many years of experience I can put Okay,
Mhm.
after taking this class in my resume. Okay, so
Mhm.
I would say if you practice all the assignments which is given in the class, and by the end of the course I'll give you a project as well. Okay, if you complete that project, you can happily put more than 2 years of experience, because I worked as a performance test manager for a lot of MNCs. Okay,
Mhm.
performance test lead and then performance test manager as well, and I know what a 2 years experience guy knows and all that. So this course is so designed that you will be able to easily meet the 2 years experience guys knowledge. Okay, but
Okay.
only if you practice all the assignments and the projects.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what it is. So this is what you can expect from the course, Prasad. Okay, the course is starting on 30th. Okay, and it's in the morning 7 a.m. to okay 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
If you
7
need
a.m.
some,
means
sorry,
this is India time, right? Or
this is IST. Okay, so where are you from? Sorry, I forgot to
from
ask this question.
Eastern time actually.
Oh, you are in US. Okay, you are
Yeah.
in New York, maybe in New York or in the EST.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7 a.m. right now could be in EST. What could be the time?
I think 9 might be.
Okay, so it will be
Yeah,
9:30. So that's what it will be.
9:30.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
9:30. That will be
This
minutes.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I'll be available for 30 minutes to take all the questions that the students have, any issues that they're facing with the assignments or with the projects. Okay, anybody is feel free to feel free. Okay, and what do you get? Okay, you will get a handout. Okay, with this course. Okay, assignments regular basis. I wouldn't say daily, because whenever the tool demonstration starts, that's when the assignment starts. When there is a theory, there is no assignments. Okay, there is a real-time project. Okay, done. If you need resume guidance, I can do that, but I don't think you would need it. Okay, and the most important thing. Okay, the real-time project handouts and recordings. Every session is recorded. Okay, just like today we are recording it. Every single session gets recorded, and I'll make sure you have the recordings as well. Okay, just in case you miss the class or you have some issues, you're not able to catch up, or you wanted to hear a topic again and again. So as the live sessions are going on, I'll record them and I'll make sure those recordings are available to you. Okay, usually by the end of that particular day you will have the recordings for that particular day. Just in case if you miss that class, you can listen to it and you can attend the next class. Okay, so these are the expectations. Okay,
Yeah.
now I'll show you how the classes would look like. So I'll give you some presentations. Okay,
Yeah.
so that you get a ballpark idea as to how the sessions will carry on. Okay, when you get into the class. By the way, whatever the PPTs that you're seeing, this is not the handout I will be giving. There is the other handout. These are for the presentation purposes. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so just that you get a ballpark idea as to how the trainings are, I'm going through some slides. Okay, if you have any questions, you can stop me anywhere. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
now overall software testing, Prasad, okay, you can divide into two things. One is functional testing and one is non-functional testing. Okay, functional
Yeah.
testing and non-functional testing. So let's say there is a car. Okay, you're testing for the steering, or you're testing for the brake, you're testing for the tires, or you're testing for other parts of the car. This is more like your functional testing. Okay, I'm just taking an analogy. Don't think that, oh, whatever the testing that you're doing on the car, that's functional testing. No, I'm just taking an analogy. Okay,
Yep.
but for the same car, you're testing how fast the car travels. Okay, how fast the car travels. We call this as performance testing. Okay, we call this as performance testing. And this performance testing is a part of non-functional testing. And this performance testing is a part of non-functional testing. Okay, it's a part of non-functional testing. So, by the way, don't think that if you're testing the steering of the car, that's functional testing. No, I'm just giving you an analogy. Okay, I'm just giving you an analogy. Now, functional testing, you are doing functional testing or manual testing. I need not have to tell you, but these slides are for generic people, right? There are some people who would have come here without manual testing experience as well for them. Okay, let's say you're testing an application, you're testing the functionality. What do I mean when I said functionality? Okay, you gave the correct credentials for the login. Okay, if the application is logging in, okay, that's what you will test. The application logs in or not. Okay, you give incorrect credentials and you check if the application is not able to log in. Okay, like this, you check the functionality of the application. What you're checking, the functionality of the application, then you call this as functionality testing. Okay, for the same Gmail application, you can check, if you're able to compose the mail, if you're able to delete the mail, if you're able to change the password, if you're able to change the theme, if you're able to create the folders. Like this, there are probably, n number of functionalities you can check. So it all comes under functional testing. Okay, so something that you can do from the front end. Okay, but now for the same functionality, you are checking how fast the application logs in. Then this is performance testing. Okay, in other words, as a part of performance testing, you don't check if your application is able to log in or not. You assume that the functional testing is done and the application is able to log in properly. Okay, but what you are checking as a performance tester, you wanted to check how fast you are able to log in. Once you click on the login button, right, how fast it is able to display the next page. That's what you check as a performance tester. Are we clear, Prasad?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the small mistake lot of people coming from manual testing will do. Okay, what is that mistake is, even when they get into the performance testing team, their mind is still like manual testing only. Okay, so whether the application is is able to log in or not, and all that, when they're creating the scripts, they will be in that kind of mindset. Okay, but as a performance tester, what you have to assume, the functional testing is already done and the functionality is already working fine. Our only job is to check how fast the application is. Are we clear, Prasad?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
So, by telling this, internally I am telling one thing, Prasad, is performance testing is always done after your system testing is done. Okay? When is the performance testing is done? After your system testing is done. Is it okay? You understand by the word system testing, right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Okay, ST and SIT you understand, right? I'm assuming that you are understanding these terms and I'm going. SIT means
Yeah.
system
Yeah.
testing.
System
SIT
integration
means
testing. Yeah.
system testing. So this usually falls under functional testing, right? And functional testing means there are a lot of other testings as well. But usually as a manual tester, these are the two things that you do in general. Okay. So performance testing usually will be done after these two testings are done. Okay.
Okay.
Worst case, system testing they will complete. SIT and PT they do it together. Okay, if there is a time crunch, okay, this is what they do. But ideally, what you have to do after SIT is done, PT needs to be done, because if PT is to test how fast it is. Only if the application is defect free and only if the application is stable, then only you can check how fast it is. Okay, so Prasad, we will take one situation wherein the system testing is not done. Okay, system testing and PT are started parallel. Okay, ST system testing and PT has started parallel. Parallelly means together. Okay, so what is the date today? October. And what is the date today? October
25th. 25th. Yeah.
Okay,
25th.
on 25th, on October 25th, both these testing has started. Okay, now let's say you have checked how fast the application is logging in. Okay, and it is moderately fast and there are no issues, and you said I'm happy. Now suddenly system testing guy has found a defect. What he has found? He has found a defect. Okay, he has found a defect. Now what happens after the defect? The programmer fixes the defect and a new version or new build Okay, a new version of the application comes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now
Yeah.
as a performance tester, your lead or your client will come and ask you, is the application fast? Then what we will say, it was fast in the old build, but now the code has changed. In the new build, I don't know. That's what your response will be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the application which was there old, that was good, but recently I heard the application is changed, the developer has changed the code. Now I don't know, will it be, is it fast or not? Now what will your client will say? No, go and do the testing again. You will go and do the testing again there is a defect, and then there is a change and new build came. Okay, so how many times you can do performance testing like this? So this is the reason why the application has to be what? Application has to be stable before you start performance testing. Okay, when can you say the application is stable? When there are no more defects and when there are no more builds. When there are no more new builds, you can say your application is stable.
Stable.
Is it okay so far, Prasad?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Can we proceed further?
Yeah, you can proceed. Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the old slide, overall software uh, landscape can be divided into functional testing and non-functional testing. Functional testing means what? System testing, system integration testing, regression testing, user acceptance testing. All this falls under functional testing and few more. Okay. So non-functional testing, obviously performance testing, but lot of people think that performance testing is the only non-functional testing. If you are in that assumption, you are totally wrong. Performance testing is one of the non-functional testing. Okay, so the other non-functional testing is security testing, compatibility testing, usability testing, failover testing, and there are a lot of them. Okay, think about it. When you're doing the testing and you're thinking and you're not testing the functionality of the application, then automatically that testing becomes non-functional testing. For example, you're doing a security testing. What you're checking here, you're not checking the functionality. You're checking how secured and how safe your application is. And if somebody has entered the credit card details, is it safe? If somebody has entered your username password, is it safe? That is what you are testing. You are not testing the functionality. Then automatically that becomes non-functional testing. Like this, there are a lot of other testings, okay, which are part of non-functional testing. Okay, performance testing. There is one point that I wanted to establish here is performance testing is one of the non-functional testing, not the only non-functional testing. Okay, so now Prasad, there is one question I will ask you. For every
Yeah.
testing, there is the requirements, right? You do
Yeah.
something called requirement gathering, right? Right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So RG means requirement gathering. That's what I am saying. Okay, because I'm from the mouse, it's very hard to write. That's why I'm doing that. Okay, so for every
Okay.
testing, we do requirement gathering. RG is not Ram Gopal Verma. RG is requirement gathering. Okay,
Okay.
so now for system testing, requirement gathering. For system integration testing, you will do its own requirement gathering. For user acceptance testing, you will do its own requirement gathering. So
Yeah.
definitely for performance testing also there should be requirement gathering, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For security testing also there should be requirement gathering, right? For compatibility testing also there should be requirement gathering. Okay. For every testing, what is your testing starts with? The first thing is the requirements, because you don't know what to test. They will tell you what to test. Okay. So that is what is requirements. Okay. So these requirements, we call this as functional requirements because these requirements are gathered for functional requirements. These requirements, what do you call them? Any guess, Prasad?
Non-functional requirement.
Wonderful. NFR. Very popular term when you get into performance testing. Okay. If somebody asks you, oh, can I get the NFRs? Okay. So they're asking for the requirements for performance testing. That's what you meant. Okay, that's what they meant when they ask you NFRs. Okay, when you get into the project, if somebody is asking or if somebody mentioning NFRs, Don't get overwhelmed. NFRs means requirements, non-functional requirements for your performance testing. Okay.
Okay.
This one I've already told you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So now, Prasad, we'll look into, okay, why we have to do performance testing. Okay, why we have to do performance testing. So meet this guy, Mark. The whole trainings will be in and around Mark. Every single concept that I wanted to explain, it will be based, it will be around Mark. Okay. So Mark wants to buy a mobile phone. Okay, he wants to buy a mobile phone. So he searched for the desired phone online. Let's say it's $1,000 phone. Okay, these days a lot of people are buying expensive phones, right? Prasad, maybe may not be you, but a lot of people are buying, right? iPhone,
Yeah.
i7, i8, and all that, right? So OnePlus, they're all expensive phones. Okay, let's say he wants to buy $1,000 phone. Okay, so because he's passionate about mobile phones. Okay, once he has given the credit card details and click the enter, he has to wait how many minutes? Watch here carefully. How many minutes? How many minutes?
Maybe 2 seconds.
Okay, so he's saying 2 minutes or 120 seconds. Okay, so you see, watch carefully. Once he has given the credit card details, okay, he clicked on add, he clicked on add to cart, and he has given the credit card details and everything. And once he has entered all that information, it took 2 minutes before he got this response. Okay, finally you get this response, right? Thank you for shopping with us, and this is the order number and blah blah blah. But to get to this page, how much time it has taken? 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay, now let's say your Mark. Do you think this is a fast application? I mean, for your perception, do you think this is fast or this is slow?
Slow.
Slow. Okay,
Yeah.
so will you be happy as a
No.
customer of Amazon?
No.
No. Do you have other options? I mean, if you want to buy the phone online other than Amazon, do you have other options to purchase? Maybe if you are in India, there is a
Actually,
Flipkart, right?
yeah, Flipkart. Yeah.
There is Snapdeal, right?
Yeah.
There is Jabong. There are hundreds of websites. Amazon is not the only website. So if customers are happy, they will move. It's not happy, they will not use your website again because they have a lot of choices. Okay, if not Redbus, there is Abibus. If not Amazon, there is Snapdeal or Flipkart or eBay or blah blah blah. Okay,
Yeah.
so for everything people have options. If not Gmail, there is Yahoo Mail. Okay, if not Facebook, there is Google Plus. Like this, these days every person has an option. Okay,
Okay.
if
Yeah.
not WhatsApp, there is a Telegram. So if people are not happy, especially the performance, they will move away from the website and the company will lose the customers. So in this case, Amazon company will lose Mark, or not only Mark, there could be hundreds of people who might think that 2 minutes is way too slow, and they will move away from Amazon and they will say they will never buy a item from Amazon. Okay, so
Yeah.
now, is Mark happy with the website? No, he's not happy with the website. Okay, sometimes even worse. After 2 minutes, Mark is lucky he got this message saying that thank you for shopping with us, and here is the order number, and it will be shopped pretty soon. Your $1,000 phone will be shipped pretty soon. Pretty soon. Okay, but some people will get this response. Is a possibility? Yeah. After 2
Yeah.
minutes, yeah, there is a possibility, right? Okay.
Correct.
Now think about it. What would happen in your mind if this happens? The phone is not a cheap phone. It's $1,000 phone. You enter the credit card details and all that. Okay. And what you're expecting is thank you for shopping with us. But this is the page that you found. And this is even more worst. Okay. Now what will you be thinking? What happened to my $1,000? Is my order booked? Or should I book this order again? Let's say Mark is booking for his girlfriend or his wife. Okay. For a special day. Okay, That's even more worse now. Should he book it again, or it's already booked? Did it? The money is already debited from the credit card. Now what will happen? So with all that confusion, he will say he will never visit this website again. Okay, so if the performance is bad, if the performance of the application is bad, the customers are not happy. Okay, if the
Yeah.
if the performance of the application is bad, the customers are not happy, and this is the reason why performance testing is done. Are we okay, Prasad?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay, always think that if the client is spending enough money on you for doing the performance testing, he will expect something out of it. Okay, there is a reason why he is spending so much money. Why? Because he's scared that his customers, he will lose his customers. He wants to give the best possible experience to the customers. So that is the reason why he will do all this performance testing and all these things. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I've
Yeah.
told you, if the Amazon application is slow, the customers will move to either Flipkart or eBay or Jabong or Snapdeal or any of the shopping websites. These days, the customers have a lot of options. Okay,
Yeah.
so if the application is slow and customer is not happy and he is not coming to your website again, and as a business owner means the owner of the Amazon in this case will be losing his customers, and if he loses his customers, he will be losing the business as well, right? If there are 1,000 people coming to the website and ordering now, and later on there are only 100 people coming, he's losing the business. He wants more and more people to come to his website and purchase the things so that he can make more profits. Okay, so
Yeah.
less customers means less profits, so he's losing the business. So the performance testing is required. Okay, this is the reason why we do the performance testing. Okay, so I wanted to tell you, okay, we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah.
So performance testing is expensive as compared to other testing like system testing and all that. Okay, usually there's a lot of money involved. In general, I'm saying not in all the projects, but most of the projects. Why? Because tools are expensive. The load runner is an extremely expensive tool. Okay, just now recently I've asked. Okay, I had a project and I had to call up this LR load runner guys, and they said the access for 3 months. Okay, I'll tell you in Indian rupees, it is 2 lakhs. You understand Indian rupees, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, just for 2 months, it is 2 lakhs, and that too for how many users? I'll tell you what is this users later. Just for 200 virtual users. Okay, 200 virtual users. Okay, this is way too less number. Okay, what are these virtual users? We will definitely understand at the later point of time. These virtual users will represent the real users. Okay, for now just understand that just for 3 months access they have charged 2.5 lakhs or something just for 200 users. Okay, imagine if you wanted to run a test with 1,000 users. Okay, how much money you have to spend? So it's a lot of money that you spend, and this access is only for 2 3 months, not a lifetime access as well. Okay, after 3 months you want to do the testing again you have to purchase. Okay, so and you, okay, if you become a performance tester, definitely you're expensive as well. Okay, as compared to a manual tester or a system tester or a system integration tester. Okay, it is on par with a Java developer or a Selenium guy or any other guy. Okay, and usually performance tester could be even more as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll talk about this when I said infrastructure. You will understand this term called infrastructure when you get to the architectures. But do understand that it's a full scale architecture is required, or full scale infrastructure is required, which means that again a lot of money is involved. So performance testing is extremely expensive, and if you are going as a performance tester, okay, assume that your client is spending a lot of money on this, so there is a burden on your shoulders to get this performance testing done perfectly well. Okay,
Okay.
so with this I will close the chapter here. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you're interested you can always contact Srinivas Garu and you can take
Yeah.
it forward. Okay,
Yeah. Sure.
thank you.
Yeah. How long it will take complete this course?
Okay, so this is,
How
as
many
I've
days?
told you, Prasad, this is an extensive course. Okay, so typically it will take 1.5 months to 2 months. Okay, it's not just like 1 week course or a crash course or something like that. Okay, you will learn deep into the tool and all the programming and as well, everything as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so I require at least 1.5 months to 2 months. Okay,
Okay.
so typically there will be 27 sessions to 30 sessions. Okay, 1.5 hour each day. So now you can imagine how many hours it is. Okay, close to 50 or 50, maybe 60 hours, close to 50, 55 hours. Okay,
Okay.
so that's the time that's the time frame I require for this course to get completed.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, Stringmas, if you're there, thank you so much for your time. And
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
move on.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Prasad.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Srini.
Bye. Bye.